All right, everybody, we got an exciting show here with a special guest, Greg. He recorded something with myself very recently in regards to the upcoming kits that were just released. Joe and Ethan also chimed in. We were putting this together in the last bit, and the new kits got announced, so perfect timing. Hope you guys enjoy it. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. We got a very special show. It's into summer break, and we kind of like to have fun with different ideas. And this idea was actually brought by Greg, which is out of Boston, an amazing Benfica, a longtime fan of the show. And we're always asking for ideas and feedback, and he had a really fun one, which was touching more on the emblem, the jersey itself, the kits we wear all the time.
Great. Happy to be on. Like you mentioned, been listening to you guys and watching you guys for the last couple of years, and no matter what the result is, I feel like this is like therapy, like you guys always mentioned. So just happy to have this opportunity to be joining you guys, and just excited for the show.
That's awesome, buddy. Really appreciate it, and it's the the therapy part is always funny because I used to get worked up with some losses and things that sort of happen, but after just having the banter with everyone in the chat, with Alex, with Luis, whether it be Dylan, Jeff, any of the people, Joe and Ethan, everyone else that's come on before in the past, so many. So I guess to kick it off, I always like to, I'll put you on the spot a little bit, but in terms of a jersey itself for Benfica, is there, do you remember the first jersey you ever got by chance that you first acquired?
I do. So it was actually during my summer pilgrimages, to Valenvu's house. Parents would ship me off like most American and Canadian Portuguese, I'm sure. It was the 05-06 home jersey where it had that big PT sponsorship in the center. I love those. I wish we had those back. But it was my first one. I remember I had that for so many years. Then I finally hit my growth spurt come sixth grade, so the year after. So that unfortunately doesn't really fit me anymore. But I still have it in my collection.
It's a crop top now.
Exactly. Luckily, my girlfriend's kind of tiny, so she gets to wear whenever we get to go back and watch the games. So
that's awesome.
At least there's some use out of it.
In terms of your favorite kit, it was the now I'm going to forget here, 2016, 2017, I think it was. You sent me a photo of Jonas. What a beautiful looking kit.
I believe so. I believe so, yeah.
And Jonas, it plays a factor in that kit you bought. Tell us a little bit about why that's your favorite kit.
So when I first went to Portugal, it's my first time. I went to the Algarve just on holiday or vacation if you're from America. And I was just in the restaurant eating some tea, and it was on the TV. Benfica were playing, I can't remember who they were against, and it was at the start of the season, and if I remember rightly, Benfica won and Jonas got a hat-trick or two. 2 goals, not 2 hat-tricks, obviously. But ever since then, kind of fell in love with the club, and because Benfica won and Jonas got his 2 goals or hat-trick, if I remember rightly, I went to the store and got a shirt. So yeah, it's the reason why I like it the most.
Awesome. And speaking of the store, the Loja, the mega store next to the stadium, there's a clip playing in one of the coolest places to been. You've been there, Ethan, by chance?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, as it goes. Yeah.
And just as a quick backstory, when we were chatting before this, and I mentioned the Loja, a really cool Loja. Ethan's, English, right? So he doesn't know what the frig Loja means.
I had no idea.
So it's I don't know what you're talking about. He probably doesn't know if we're talking about a Rippers. He doesn't know if we're talking about a cafe. He doesn't, what's the spot at, right? And next thing you know, we were talking, explaining it, and he's like, yeah, I've been there actually. It's a store. It's that's it's and so we gotta be mindful sometimes because we have a lot of people that are English based that love the club, that follow the channel. Very cool spot, man. Joe, you've had a chance to go, obviously.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's one of my coolest experiences aside from obviously going to games and stuff like that. Just because I had never been, and they have the Benfica houses here, the Casas de Benfica and stuff, and they have all the gear and the kit. But like you were saying before, Mario, they have all the old vintage stuff. They have the new stuff. They have a ton of kids stuff, women's stuff. It's literally everything. And next to the pavilion and all that stuff. It's just a really cool experience, especially when you don't go on a game day, so it's not as crowded. The experience is a little more enjoyable. But yeah, it's sick. It's awesome.
It's such a cool spot, and I wish there's I'm envious of the people in Portugal because Odivelas, just outside of it's in Lisboa. They have this like outlet center also. Very cool, man. So much stuff you can get. It's wild. So on the screen as it's running and it's looping again, it's the various kits from like the late '90s onward that they're showing. It's from a very cool website that has put in a ton of work. What they do is they kind of go through the history. A lot of people submit kits and things of sort. It's Football Archive. It's actually run by Footy Headlines, and these guys do a lot of the football leaks for the kits. These guys are experts behind it. They have a ridiculously like 90 some odd % accuracy rate of like nailing the correct kits, doing verification. So we'll go into a new kit a little bit. Before I do that, Joe, like I'm seeing some of the early 2000 kits, the PT kits popping up. And from my understanding, that's one of your high-ranking kits or one of your favorites.
Yeah, that's like my similar to Ethan. That was one of my like first experiences with Benfica. My uncles, going to games and stuff, and bringing back those old magazines. If you, I know a lot of Portuguese people are probably familiar with them, like the season preview magazines and stuff. And there was one with Simão on the cover, and that's the one that always stuck in my mind. It was like the old Block PT sponsor with Simão Sabrosa with his arms open, and I mean that squad was great. Even at the time I wasn't really aware because I was on the younger side of things, and it was just difficult to watch games. But Petit, King, Nuno Gomes was on that team, Mantorres, like there were just so many great players. And Simon was the one for me that was always like, hey, like I like that guy. He was kind of a shorter guy like me, big chest, proud of his Portuguese heritage and stuff like that. He was just like such a fun player to watch for the Seleção too. That it's a kit that I don't own, but I would love to one day own because it's one of my favorites for sure.
Funny enough, I remember it was a kit I wanted to have, and randomly in Little Portugal in Toronto once. I saw it in a window, but it wasn't the official. It was like one of the ones without the Adidas logo. So I don't know if it was a replica from Benfica or if it was a replica from Sheena, and they all come from that source. Anyways, I lean towards the Sheena because that square block, man, it is a thick painted on block. Like you feel it. Like it's a square chest. That part of my chest is flat. Anything else bending. It's a little worn nowadays because given how old it is. But it was a cool era, man. That era was, you had the Nuno Gomes, the Petits, the obviously Simão, Keem. You had these guys that were just like on the Seleção during that golden era. It was a certain time where Benfica would go up against giants in Europe, and you felt that they had a chance of winning the Champions League, things of the sort. They're still like, coming out of the dark ages per se, and the belief was even in the dark ages this club competes for the top title, right? Just different time, different mindset the club used to have, right? But it was a very cool amount. One thing I wanted to kind of shout out because I had some of the other guys send me their kits. Funny enough, Alex has the same favorite kit as Ethan, which is I think it was that 2017. I'm going through my text messages here because we were texting earlier today. Beyond a doubt, I should have just gotten a screenshot. It is that same kit. It's the one with, the oval badge, that one there from, I think it was 2017. It's just kind of that retro feeling. Actually, look, I'm wearing it. Alist. Didn't even have to friggin' show the photo. So the kit I'm wearing, representing Alex on that side. I agree. It's a beautiful kit. It's got that really nice badge. It has a retro feel, but a modern look to it. The material's solid. It's just a very hardy kind of kit. It feels nice. For myself, it was the 2011 kit that I guess if I had to pick one. And that's the one, they did those back-to-back retro kits. Same oval one, but the badge was gold with the 2 stars. They did one with the 1 star one season, following season 2 stars to commemorate the second European Cup win. Again, for the exact same reason, the retro feeling. And the thing I really liked is in the inside of the kit on the back part, it had this really neat little oval of a photo of the original team that won the European Championship with Zebi and things of sort, like just ingrained in there, really neatly done. Again, it's just the quality of the material compared to the last few years of kits, just at a higher caliber. Like, it kind of felt like they stepped it up that year. So that was quite cool in that sense. Luigi
Yeah.
got his.
There's-
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry, yeah, no, you just made me think of something, Mario, when you mentioned that there was like the picture of the team on the back of the kit. Just a quick aside on kits in general. Nike, there was like a point when Nike, I believe it was the 2010 World Cup, and that was the one where Portugal had like the green and red stripe coming down like the front.
Yeah.
And that was back when Nike used to do something on the back of the bag where they would like have stuff. So like I had an old United kit back then, and it was like had something to do with like their comeback, so like never give in or something like that. The Seleção one was like keep it the todos nós. Like they had cool sayings and stuff. And man, I wish they did stuff like that because it's so cool, Mario. Like when you have pictures or just like even like the little like the Liverpool stuff on the back of their kits. Sometimes it's just those little things to me really make a kit.
Oh, it's a huge difference in terms of the just in terms of details, and also the nostalgia of it and everything else that kind of like clicks into it, right? Well, what I was quickly doing here, I was actually just digging up a quick photo, and I believe I got the right one. Here it is. I'm gonna make it a little large just because, and I know you guys can't see this, right? So this is just for the viewers. But when you guys get through to watch the show, on the inside, if you kind of enhance and really enhance this photo on the show here a little live, where you kind of have that the shot in there has a team, has this little extra bit, but it's details like that which I think are really cool that they add in there, and kind of various details they kind of put in there. Greg had kind of sent me, which was the genesis for this idea of doing the show, or this episode, a couple of kits, and he has the Jonas one that Mello referenced, and then the Simone kit actually is on there. It kind of looks very similar. Yeah, the one you had there. And then he also likes the White Away and a Tercel one. But kind of going back to, so we covered off Alex's. Luigi was the last guy I was missing, 21. His was the 83-84 kit that he recently got. And that is
The one he wants to marry.
yeah, the one he wants to. Yeah, he's gotta hang it on a frame now. So that is a very cool kit. I'll make sure I get that up there on for everyone to see. But it is. Funny enough, that's my birth year, 84. So I almost like when I saw that, I was like, that's a wild kit to have for a year. I like the Shell logo, the big badge, everything about that. The way that the Adidas logo looks, that retro look. It's really sharp, really clean. Okay, so new kits. They've come out. So looking at the home kit, it looks simple and clean. I think there is a lot of hooting and harling, people complaining this season because it was a monochromatic emblem and the red wasn't quite the red, and it's kind of neat to see them at least kind of say, okay, you guys were ticked off, too much fancy stuff going on, here's your simple red Benfica kit. What do you think about it?
I personally like it. I would ideally like, just from like what I've been seeing, because Leon just actually posted their photos with like the same kind of layout template. And like what I love would be white collars, at least, because I think that would definitely brighten up than just like a plain just white kit, or sorry, red kit that's just like everywhere. I mean, like we need like some white at least on it. I mean, as long as we can get that, I think that would be like really bright and it would stand out. I think it would be a classic. If it's all red, I'd be like, I'll still buy it, but.
But I will say this much: the fans bitched a lot, so we're getting what we asked for, a little bit more simple looking, with the traditional logo. So I got to give the club credit there, because at least they listened well on that part. The away one, they're still playing with the monochromatic. I will say, the one detail I saw, it seems to have like a slightly faded black pattern in it. I don't know how if you've been able to look into it too much, but it's, and even like the sleeve has the red line and then the black kind of underlining part to it. Little things like that I get a kick out of. What do you think of the away one at the moment?
Personally, I actually like the away one more than the home, personally. Yeah. And even with, the hologram badge, just kind of just matching it. I don't mind it for the away jerseys. Home, don't touch it. That's how I personally view it. I mean, like, I think that's definitely going to be, if I don't buy both, then probably like my go-to for sure.
But for the away one, that big 1904 Benfica,
love it.
Really popped out.
Such a nice touch.
It's just that's the kind of little details that okay, cool. You took something about the club and just detail there. But one thing you know, and this will be on the one with Joe and Ethan because they spent a bit of time talking about it. So what do you think of where the Sarge logo for the Cerveja is? It almost looks like that's typically where the name would go. Do you think the names will be Cerveja, name, number, or do you think the names are going to be at the bottom of the number?
It's funny how you actually mentioned that because I actually thought that same thing too. I'm like, that is like fairly large, and like obviously with the the SLB 1904, on the back as well. I would assume that they would put it on like the bottom of the shirt, but like even before that, like we always had like larger sponsors in the back, and like they still do it. So I don't know. I'd be very shocked if they would actually put the name all the way in the bottom. I mean, at this stage, I mean, this seems like a one on a player team right now instead of like a team itself. So maybe having the names lower in the jersey would actually be nice.
Something for me that's interesting is like I'm assuming that everybody can see the back of the jersey. First of all, like the kit I think does look nice. I actually think that the Fly Emirates makes a lot of the Benfica kits look better. It's not like Chelsea's kit, for example. They just have like a big three.
Yeah.
And I think the sponsor actually makes a decent kit look terrible. Like a sponsor really can make or break. Or like those big like the betting ones like Wolves or like the Chinese like gambling website or whatever.
The massive Chinese characters.
To me, it kind of Yeah, but like on the back here, one thing, I mean, the 1904 Benfica part, Mario, I know you love it. I do too. I think it's a really nice detail. Pretty subtle, but it does mean a lot to lifetime fans of the club. But the big like Sag logo on the back, I was wondering at first. I thought it could just be again these are leaked. It might not look like this in real life, but if this were to be the kit, I'm wondering if they would get to the point where they put the number below that and then the names below the numbers.
They haven't done that actually.
Because that's something that I've never really been a.
I haven't seen it in a while at Benfica, and it's funny you bring that up. As you were mentioning at the size of Sarg's logo, I'm staring at it right now, and I'm like, that's where the name would be, at that size. That's true.
Yeah.
It's a different. It feels more like the Brazilian style or Latin America, where they have like sponsor or number, and it has like just more stuff on the back.
Yeah, like I do love the simplicity of the kits, and thankfully, we're not that financially desperate that we have to start putting like sponsors on like the butt cheeks for the shorts and like everything like some of these clubs in Brazil. But I also just really quickly before Ethan kind of gets to it, I do like the subtle red on the top here, and then the little stripe around the sleeves. It's to me it's a decent kit. It really comes down to the emblem. If this was monochromatic, I'd be a little bit iffy. But if they had like the original leak with like the normal traditional Benfica logo, I would love it. I think.
Yeah, definitely. Like I really like it. To be fair, it's most probably. Depending if we get a third kit. As it stands, I'll be getting that white kit. I think it's definitely the nicest. Yeah, it's just real clean, real tidy. I love the 1804 on the back, real good, and it's a bit like what you said. Did I just said 18?
Yeah, one digit higher, 1904. There you go.
Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. It's late. It's out late in the UK right now.
1904. I can't believe I just said that. With the 1904 on the back, and like you said, Joe, like I don't know where they're gonna put the names. Like I want to see what it does look like at the names at the bottom, because like you only really do see that in like Brazil, like you say it, and I'll just like to see it. And if it doesn't fit, like maybe move the Sagres bit onto the bottom, and then if that makes sense. So yeah, overall I really like it, and let's see what the home kit and a third kit have to say for themselves.
Yeah, and you did bring up the home kit, and I'll put it up here. Across the board, I think it's a very simple look for both kits, which simple is not bad. Keep it traditional, things of sort. It looks like they're going with a color badge, which is nice. I think there's a lot of backlash and having monochromatic on the home kit this past season.
I do think I've heard a lot of backlash too, saying that it reminds people of a training kit, and I just think it comes down to the fact that the sponsor's not there. And I've been agreeing with all of that, but the more that I've been looking at it today, and since you sent it in the chat and stuff, I do think that if you put like the Fly Emirates on there, that I would give it a chance. I would love to see it, obviously confirmed, but if it was just this kit with like a white Fly Emirates, I don't think I would like it. I'm just happy to see the traditional crest back. To be fair.
Yeah. And
Yeah, it's
it's
nice.
again, it goes down to the little details. You put a 1904 on the back. You know, you kind of see the real version with a little bit more coloring, texturing.
But yeah, Ethan, what are your thoughts on it? Kind of
On
on this like kit in general, like the leaked home kit. It kind of reminds me of the one you have on. To be
do you
fair,
think?
too.
Yeah, once you
It
put
just
the Liga
only I only
Nage,
say
like I'm looking at Ethan right now,
uh,
and as soon as you picture the Liga Nage, has the stripes. Funny enough, it
Yeah,
actually like I said, the only difference is the circular collar, whereas this seems like it's not a. It's weird because it's not a V-neck. I'm used to having like
yeah,
a crew cut V-neck. This is like a mix of the two. It seems like what they're going with.
yeah. Exactly. I think it's a mix of the two as well. But the thing what I would like to see a bit different is a different one of these. It's been like this for a couple of years now, and I would like to see it like kind of different. Like kind of change it up a bit.
well, we are going to have a new one because next season it's not going to be Liga Nage anymore. That's the new sponsor. It's going to be the Liga Buin.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember way back when,
they used to have it
Ethan.
years back.
It
Yeah,
used to be well, you probably didn't, but it used to be like Liga
Oh
Buin.
no.
Like BWIN was a sponsor.
same with La Liga,
What it
right?
is, but the La Liga clubs back in the day too.
Oh, I hadn't heard
Exactly. Yeah.
that.
So that's what's. Yeah. It's. I'm pretty sure, but I mean, you kind of wanted something that looks
Mm,
better. I could be wrong, but like their sponsorship typically I think is yellow, like black and yellow, which wouldn't be a good look. It's like it would ruin a kit like
yeah,
Yeah,
this.
and it's funny. It's like
um,
Ethan would be used
but
to like
it's
the APL where they have like the crisper looking, like long
yeah,
term branding, where it looks like a badge, whereas here it's like
yeah,
the
yeah,
iron on, right?
yeah. They've literally just stuck this on and gone have it. Like what I mean?
yeah. It's no, it's like in even like the Premier League, it's like the line, but it's like a good looking line. It's like built in. This is literally just like they took a
Yeah,
square
and
thing
like the
and
material as well. It's like
packed.
with like the Prem ones, they're like it's like a cotton. Like what I
Yeah,
mean? It's like a
it's
real
like a
like a
badge.
velvet. It's
It's
like a
meant.
velvet. Yeah, but this is just like as you just said, like just kind of slapped on.
But yeah, man, it's so. Do you mind if I ask, in your collection, how many do you have roughly? Out of curiosity.
That's a good question because I mean I'm just looking at homes right now, but like I also have like my aways. I'm gonna say like roughly 15ish that I can just think of just off like the top of my head. Yeah.
That's wild. You can feel
Yeah.
you got the starting 11, and you got the bench covered off already.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
got, you
Yep.
got a few options to pick. One guy's got to sit it out. You can't use all the substitutes, but that's
Oh,
very cool, very cool. And do you typically just when you're buying like I have this struggle with the anything with a Benfica logo on it. Like it doesn't matter what kind of merch it is. You know, you see a silly whistle. I'm like, that's a stupid whistle. You slap a Benfica logo on. I'm like, look at that whistle. I'll
you're
take
on
it.
it.
Charge it to the card.
Yep.
So are you mainly like just jerseys, or is there any other stuff you kind of get caught up with out of curiosity?
No, I'm like really big into collecting scarves too. Ironically, when we won back in 09,
Yeah.
2010, I was going on eBay, Benfica Campeonato scarf. And, I met this one guy named Pedro. He's been my scarf guy ever since. So I mean, I have a bunch of scarves too. I live with my girlfriend now, so unfortunately, she's not really, into having scarves just hanging up in the room like you are. Before I moved in with her, I was all about that. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, scarves, flags, pennants, everything. Sure.
Now, out of curiosity, I'm trying to think now, and as I'm talking, I'm going to try to look this up. Does Pedro work at the Benfica warehouse? Do you know?
That I'm not sure. His name
Let me see if I can find
Pedro Faria, I believe.
Pedro. I'm now.
That'd be crazy if we know the same guy.
Yeah, this is hilarious. This is hilarious. How did I get connected with this guy? Cash calls. Yes.
Yep,
Yes,
that's him.
that's this guy. I have not looked at his website in ages. Okay. I'm gonna post up the link for everyone to find this guy because, well, I hope so because he has a website. Is it still active? Yes, it is. This guy is sick. Why? How did I get connected with him? This is going back 2014 May. It was started shooting the shit with him. I gave him my address. He got me a scarf.
No kidding.
He got me a scarf. What's the scarf? Thanks again. Attached pics to my collection. Hey, hello, my friend. We're talking about World Cup. Oh my God, I'm not. It was funny. We went back and forth for a while. He got me something. I can't remember what. It'll hit me eventually.
Yeah, that's too fun. Like, what would it like even be the chances? Just meeting this guy on eBay, you meeting him in person, and it's nuts.
Yeah, it was random. I think it was some of the. Was it the Kaluna one? It might have been one of these. That's what it was. I think the Kaluna one and the Eusebio. Yeah, yeah. Here it is. Road to Torino. That one, the final. Sorry.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, because I have the Chelsea one from a friend of mine that went to the final game. So that one
Oh,
there.
dude.
There's the number 33 scarf I needed because I for that championship. Kaluna one, the Eusebio one, and then this big Benfica flag I got hanging there that I take with me.
Nice.
My God, this guy's a legend.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
look.
I mean he's been. I put him like on to like all my friends. I'm like, guys, if you need a scarf, hit this guy up. Let me know if it's going to be a championship one. Then we can do like a mass order. And like he's super fair on like the prices too. Like he like always like cut me like some slack with like shipping too. So
Yeah.
I mean he's the man.
And
Sure.
again, I don't want to put the guy again. I'm going back 2014, so things could change in people's lives. But he used to have a connection at the Benfica warehouse, so he used to
No
have an
kidding.
in, right? So that's how he'd get like because scarves would sell out, and I'd be like, that's how I got connected with him. It was like, but yeah, the guy, his website is so sick. He's got like scarves from like way back in the day, like just the
From
most.
like the 80s and
Yeah,
70s. I'm
man.
like, how do you even have this?
Like
No.
he once showed me he has like this system with like they're all folded. It's like this cupboards. Like he gets some photos, but
Yeah.
it's a storage system that's maddening. The guy has, I think when you go, there's pages, right? It's
Yeah.
over. It's almost 3,000 different scarves.
Yeah. Exactly.
It is
It's nuts.
maddening. I'm like now I'm like completely lost on this website when I'm supposed to be paying attention, but it's just so yeah. So that's cool. That's very cool. But yeah, that's a challenge, man. Running out of room where to put at the closet. So do you? I guess for all the kits you got, 15 kits. Are they still like? You put them in a drawer? Do you hang them? How's your setup?
My girlfriend was very nice and gave me a box so we can store it in my closet. Yeah.
Ooh, a box.
Yeah. She's not Portuguese, she's Irish, but I mean she understands the passion. So she's
That's
cool with
fun.
it. We just happen to live in like a tiny apartment like 15 minutes north of Boston, so we're just kind of cutting it for space right now. I'm
Yeah,
hoping when we move, get a house, have a nice little setup like you, get a little man cave, and then they're back on the wall.
that's awesome. No, that's pretty cool. That's very cool. So yeah,
Yeah.
once we'll get you. I got to get you back on then, like for one of the proper. We'll do like maybe some when the preseason kicks on. The kits are official and they kind of start doing their first like rounds of matches in the preseason. It'd be cool to get you
Sure.
back on. We'll do like a show on the like a typical BA90 show, but also get a feel like what do you think of the kits, this and that. And I got to give a quick shout out to Greg for this idea. I think it was a cool idea. It's he's a long term fan of the show. He messaged me. I'm terrible on Instagram. I got to apologize to him, and I have apologized to him. But like I'm terrible at responding on it. But it's a very cool idea to get his thoughts on it. To get us talking about it. I think it's a fun idea. And yeah, no, I really again wanted to give him a big shout. Obviously, thank you guys for coming out and taking some time to put this together with me. And yeah, we'll have to do one on the Euro and talk about those kits because that can take up a whole other show.
No.
Yeah, that could take place. I did want to say it just because I know
Yeah.
this isn't a live show, and the badges can be a little bit tricky. So for anyone watching, this is not a Benfica kit. This is actually the Santa Clara kit. So my family is from the Azores, and so big Santa Clara fan. They're 100 season this year. They made it to Europe, so I wanted to rep them. But then also, if you look, they have like the OG Benfica kit vibes with like Clube Desportivo de Santa Clara instead of the SLB, and it's a similar logo. So obviously,
Yeah.
we know the two clubs go way back. But for anyone who may not be, a massive Benfica fan, this is a Santa Clara kit.
They're like a sister team in a sense, and the old Benfica logo is identical to that Santa Clara is what they modeled it after in a sense, right? And the difference being, it's funny. There's Praense and Terceira. They're in the lower tier.
Yep.
They have a similar logo, but a lot of times it's theirs. Actually, no, theirs is very different. Like they have like the Portuguese crest in it. But what it is that the bird's on top. So that bird on that, it's slightly different. Doesn't look like the Benfica eagle because I forget what bird it is. There's a specific bird associated with oh my god, the Ilha. I can't believe not so George. My god.
Wow.
Santa Clara.
They
Santa
call
Clara.
like so. My family's actually from Terceira, and I'm a big fan of Parientes.
Oh,
They
cool. Yeah.
unfortunately they're like trying their division, but yeah, they have like
A falcon or
it's
something
like
like that.
their kits are like white and red.
Yeah.
It's like a malaf. It's like one of the birds of the Azores.
Yeah. But they have that
So like
same like
anyone
bird on the
that's
top kind of thing.
familiar with like the butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's cool because like even in Interstate as well, there's like an old sporting club. It was like one of the. It's called
Yes, I
Lusitania,
got a scarf right up there. I'm looking at. Yeah.
and their logo is like pre. Yeah, yeah, and it's funny because it's like it still has like the old fashioned doors. It was like founded in the early 1900s, and it was one of the like I think it was the 11th or like 13th, kind of like Casa do Sport thing that was founded,
Yeah.
or however they do stuff over there. But yeah, man, it's just funny to see how some of the smaller clubs, modeled their logos after
Yeah, they had the association.
the
My uncle
victory.
played for Lusitania actually, and the one I was thinking of, Praense. Sorry, Praense is the one. I got a cousin that's affiliated with them. It has the bird, but it has more of a Portuguese crest. It's Angrense, which is the one that looks very similar to the Benfica and the Santa Clara, and they have the different bird, but it's funny how you have these like similarities across the league, where it's a lot of it was connected back to the old affiliations, especially with the islands being so far away, where they had their own like miniature league almost going on within the lower divisions and things of the sort, right? Travel.
Yeah, yeah. I actually the one time I did practice with one of the clubs there, it was with Angrense. So like we got to wear the kit, and we could go, I know, deeper and deeper into all like the island stuff and the lower divisions and everything, but
I love
we'll
it,
leave that for another day. But yeah, it's just
I
it's
love
just
the
cool.
flag on it. The Azores flag.
Yeah,
I really like it.
and this one's pretty cool for just really quickly on the back. It has like the sponsors, the Açores. And then for anyone that loves Blush Maria, it also has like a
Bolacha
little
Maria.
bolata.
They're like these like the most simplest,
Oh,
perfect cookies. And as a kid, you get
Are they cookies?
little cookies. But they're very plain. It's like a plain biscuit kind of thing. Chocolate milk as a kid, dump it in. It's like one of those. It's like I remember when I was a kid, man. Every avó has those in the cupboard, right? Muting Schwab.
Yeah, that bold blot and everything.
Yeah.
Make cakes
But
out
yeah,
of this shit.
yeah.
But it's fun, man. It's fun. And yeah, no, I really appreciate you guys taking the time for it. Leave a comment below in terms of kind of your favorite kits, different reasons behind it, and we'll get some more fun content, throughout, the summer. We'll enjoy the Euros and sort of get a few more things coming out. And then,
Yeah, for sure.
all right, guys, take care. Peace.
See ya.
So I always got to ask, what part of Portugal is the kind of some of your family hanging out at?
So we are literally the very tip of the continent. So like that like awkward part of Spain, like where Vigo's at.
Yeah.
We're like maybe 45, maybe like an hour away in Viento Castelo in Ponta Barca.
Oh, holy cow, that's awesome. Very cool. It's a bit of a drive because there isn't like a direct airport, but it's a very cool spot of Portugal to check out.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I mean, like I remember, like my grandfather taking me like across like the border, just ever so casual with the EU borders. And like we would spend like the day there, just hang out. I think we're probably closer there than we would be to Porto, which is crazy. But just make the most out of it.
That's very cool. And have you had a chance to go to the Stadio Luge by chance yourself, or?
Yeah, I've actually been very fortunate. I've been, at least in Portugal, I've been to like 3 or 4 games already. I want to say 2 at the Luge, then 2 away. My first one was actually it's actually a pretty funny story. So my first one was back in like spring of 2012, and Benfica was playing Vitória de Guimarães. So like we were just there for the holiday break, because I had school off that week, and the only game that we were to be there for was for that like specific game. It was like a random night, typical low league, just like, oh, let's just do it on a Wednesday night. No one's really gonna care.
Yeah, exactly.
So we trekked it down, we got to see family, luckily, did all that. But, like the main thing was the game. So we went to the game. It was such an awesome lineup because, like, I remember that, like, 2011, 2012 team, like, that kind of, like, sparked up, like, the next couple of years to come. And, we went to the game. Atmosphere was crazy, all the ultras on the Benfica side and, the guys over in Guimarães just going at it. But, of course, they lost 1-0. My first ever game there. So, just like one of those things, I'll never forget it. But yeah, I mean, even, just like a few years, after that, my girlfriend and I, we got to see Benfica Sporting a couple years ago. And a nice little highlight was it was João Felix's first ever goal for Benfica when he tied it at 1-1.
Yeah.
So, yeah, super pumped about that. Then before COVID, we went last year to see Benfica Belenenses at the Jamor. 2-0 win over there, so great little things. Then whenever they come to North America, I always make the trek down to either Jersey or Foxborough.
We might have crossed paths in the last visit with AC Milan out in Foxborough.
Yeah.
I went there with a bunch of people, and it was I will say it was a fun time. A lot of festas throughout the entire day, and tailgating, all the fun thing, and it's always good. It's always a good time.
It's awesome because I mean, like I see, like I follow you on Instagram. I saw you there with Nina and the guys over at Talking to the Tall Benfica podcast.
Oh yeah,
with Mario
Alfredo.
And Chris.
Yeah. Those guys. Yeah, it's way back with those guys, and they're great people. And then there's Timo, and there's Kevin from Quebec, which me and him met up years back, and it's funny. That's the thing about this club. You get to meet people from all over the world, and one of my favorite things to do to kind of bring it back to the kid is I wear, like, my closet's full of Benfica jerseys. I absolutely love it. It's just something I love. The homes, the aways. And one of my favorite things to do is when I'm wearing a Benfica jersey, and every so often you'll get that look where someone's like, "Hey, Benfica," it's like, "Hey, how you doing?" You know what I mean? It's that no matter where you go, I love it. I remember, like, I've been to Cuba before. I remember once I had a Cubano. He's like, "Oh, Benfica, yeah, I know Benfica." I was like, "Oh, that's awesome, man." It was so sick. I get a kick out of it, right? And then in your side, like, my big thing, even though I have quite a bit of jerseys me and my wife have picked up over the years, it's more of like a tradition. Okay, I'm going to either pick the home or the away, or sometimes, if I get way too greedy, I get both. But I rotate a lot. But my main collection's always been the soccer scarves, so this entire room is just full of them. But I hear you kind of started picking up this affinity to pick up kits over the years, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was just like one of those things. It's like, just going back to, like, that first kit, I loved it. It's kind of the same thing with you with, the Portuguese community up here in Boston. It's like, oh, Benfiquista, we like you, whatever. Then it's just like, when I started getting older, started working for myself, started making, low money, it's like, okay, here comes, $90 out of the bank account to get the new home, new way, whatever it was. And, let's just say mine wasn't too happy about it, but hey, it is what it is,
That's awesome. And so,